Hello everybody, welcome back to Jake's RC Stuff again, and welcome back to the mini Drak. I'm going to get like another mini Drak video in, and then I'm going to try and alternate between the mini Drak and the great white shark, which is sitting on the shelf behind me. There's the fuselage. So today, might be a strange goal to do, but I want to empty this box. This is obviously a high-tech servo box. You can still see the high-tech servo sticks in the bottom, because this does have high-tech servos in the model. I can't remember what number. This should be in the description. And I want to empty this box, get rid of the crap I don't need, install stuff, so I can empty this box, and then it's just kind of little things done. And then we're also going to have a little move on to looking at motors and shite. So, first of all, this is the Velcro that you're meant to use to keep the wings together. And I'm going to look at the Team Legit video on what they do with the Velcro, but if not, I will 3D print some small pieces to keep the wings on instead. We've got these horrible horns I got. It doesn't look like their 3D printer was working very well on that day. That I got with a control rod kit, which I also don't think I ended up using, so that was a nice little waste of money. Got some heat shrink, which of course we can use. So I'm going to put that in a separate pile. Not for the plane, but that can be used. We've got these inserts. These are for holding on these two. You can see the holes for it, and then two at the back there. So they are required for the model, as well as these screws. I've got three here because one of them's screwed into those nuts. What else have we got? We've got 4 screws there, and 4 nuts, and possibly some washers to go with it, but we'll deal with that in a second. 1, 2 nuts, 3 nuts. I'm going nutty. Well, this isn't there, no it isn't. Okay, so I'm technically I've lost a nut, but never mind. And there's just some random mods and sods and screws in there. So even though I've lost one of these nuts, there for holding the motor mount on, I am going to do it so there's 2 options with this motor mount on how you want to do it. You can either do it like this and sort of have the motor in or out from here to be there, or if you have it like this, it means the motor sticks out a lot, but that's good if you have it at the front. Now considering I'm running 2 cameras, a plastic nose, and a big 4,000 milliamp or 5,000 milliamp 4S battery in the front, it is going to probably be nose heavy, so moving this honking great motor further out is probably a good thing, as well as also it makes it slightly faster and more efficient and less noisy. So lots of bonuses to it. It just doesn't look as nice, is the only real negative to it. So in terms of motors, I'm using not the Ritewing Secret Source motor, but it's basically the same thing, but with Cobra's branding on it. Cobra are the ones who make the Ritewing one. So this is the C2814/10 1700 kV. I bought 2 of these, mostly because of the postage cost, but one of them is probably going to go in Funjet. One of them is obviously going in this. So that's the motor. In terms of speaker controllers, I bought a Turdu at Plush 60, but it's just a bit too big. So I'm going to use this Sunrise Model 70. Now, I don't think Sunrise, that's a name I've never heard of. Is it cheap crap? They're the same company. They were made by ZTW, or very similar to ZTW, and we used them on a lot of models for a while. This one's okay, it's just been taken out of the model. 70 amp. A lot of people seem to run 100 amp speaker controllers on this, but 100 amp speaker controllers are hard to get hold of, and they're big. I watched some of Matthew Ogboard's videos, and it seems to never quite hit 60 amps. It's sort of like 50 odd. So the 60, I can see why that might be a bit low, even that's what they kind of recommend. 70 should be fine. I'm still debating what to do for airflow on this. So I'm not sure if I'm going to 3D print some new covers with air scoops in to force air. It's mostly for the video transmitter more than anything. Yes, and also cooling air for speaker controller, because unfortunately none that I have would really fit here and look sensible, because whatever this plane's costs, I want it to look half decent. you know, so air over the speed controller could be an issue. I will cut the label, I think, to try and get air out. And I'm probably going to, even though, I know they're 4, these are 4 mil, so I'm going to have to change them anyway. But also, a while ago, it was cheap, but it was good. It was cheap. That's basically it. Because it's very hard, it doesn't really bend a lot, that heat shrink. So luckily we don't have any of that left. We now have like Turgid heat shrink. I'm going to need to replace them anyway, so I'll replace that. These also need, crikey, some new heat shrink putting on, but also it's probably going to need to be extended to reach into our flight controller. Flight controller is going to be, haven't quite decided where that is going to be brutally honest. I'm not sure if it's going to be in front or behind this bar. That is a decision I'm going to have to make. I believe the COG is roughly on this bar, so either side of it will be good. We'll have to see about that. That's a decision I'm going to have to make fairly quickly, simply for the fact that I need to know where I'm wiring stuff to. I think I'm going to put it in this area here, because plenty of room to move the battery forward and back as needed. Means there'll be more room for this speed control, and I could possibly then have it so it's actually under, I can lift this up and stuff and actually force air in and air out. I think, yeah, because we're using the 411 circuit board that I showed in the last video. Let me just grab it out of my little box of things. Whoops. So, probably have it as far back still. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Oh, who's gone off? I'm watching the F1, the practice session 2. It's gotta be Perez. What's gone off? Yeah, actually that looks quite sensible there. We'll do that. We'll put that there. That's fine. We now know where we're going. I might put a little red X there so to remind myself that's where it's going. But yeah, anyway, I am going to have a look to see how this is attached and see just kind of how I feel about it, really. Other than that, I'm going to also have a look at getting these all glued in, and I'll see you all in a sec. So see you in a moment. Okay, so we're in the process of installing the motor. I've done this possibly the wrong way around. I probably should have put the motor on here and then put this on, but never mind. Bit of a nightmare to get this on because you have to clean glue out the way and get it bolt on, really sort of tighten it down and squeeze it. Hopefully, I'll have a look at it in a minute and make sure that it looks about flat, so that we're not going to have any weird thrust issues. I'm having to supply my own screws. We have these, which are from Model Fixings, a UK company. I know it's .com, but it is a UK company, and they do these like trays. This is the 3mm tray. There's all the stuff you get. So if you're starting out and stuff, I probably recommend that you get this, and then you can get, you know, as you start running low or run out, you can just buy the specific stuff and replace it. And we have them for basically 3, 4, 5, 6. We even have, look, here's the, who's on top 2mm kit, 2.5. That's like a known made 2.5. There's the 2mm. But yeah, so I'm gonna get this motor attached now if I can squeeze the Allen key around, and the motor will be attached. Praise Jesus. See you next one. See you in the next clip. Bye-bye. I really gnawed that up, didn't I? Okay, so I've got our motor installed. A little bit worried that it's like table level. But never mind. I've also installed the little metal inserts, these things. Let me use them, these little metal inserts. So you basically use a, quite frankly, massive Allen key, and you put them in. In wood, once you get them started, they kind of screw themselves in because they've got these like things on the outside. Foam, you've got to push a bit harder, and as you can see, they're all in here. So if I undo this other little side thing, and then there we are. So there you can see. Now this left one, it's kind of poked through, and this one's a bit close to the edge. And these ones aren't going to get used much, but these ones will. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to dab a little bit of super glue in the hole. I'm going to put some Vaseline on one of these screws, screw it in, so that it's not going to get any glue on the inside of the thread and then knacker them up, and then I'm going to glue them in. So yes, that's the motor done. I did have to supply my own screws, as I believe I said in the previous clip. Having a look, I'm just trying to double check. It's going to be hard for you to see, but obviously got quite a thick bit of metal, and then it goes through here, and then you've got quite a lot of room between the splines that you get, the coil that you can just see there, and the screw. I'll have a double check in a minute, but I'm fairly sure they're miles away and shouldn't cause a problem. So I am going to double check that. I also need to just glue these in, and then we'll see what's next. Okie dokie, so I have now made a list of basically all the stuff that I have to connect up, so I know what I've got to do. I'm not going to forget anything or anything like that. I did have a look at batteries. I do think I need to order batteries for this, unfortunately. Most of my 4S5000s are a little tired, or they are the big... I really don't want to drop that on the floor. Or it is the big hard case 5000s, which aren't really suitable for this. The sort of slightly flatter ones. You might notice I have an X-Master Spot 1 and an X-Master Spot 2. It doesn't look like much like a 1 and a 2, but I promise you that's what they are. The reason why is, depending on where that battery goes, this might not be able to go there. So when I do the wiring, I want it to go there if possible. But these two wires from the front, I'll just extend a little bit, so if needed, I can put it there. I'm not going to stick it in until I'm absolutely done soldering everything up. And I do want to try and make things detachable if possible. In fact, I think some of them will have to be. So, in order to do that, we're just going to go around. And also, unlike the drift, where everything was very short wires, I want them to do sort of half the distance and then solder it so it's not quite as claustrophobic. We have actually got a bit more space in this than I expected. So, the question is, I guess, where to begin. How about we'll do basically the bottom board first. So that's these pins, speaker controller and battery. So let's try and work that out. I'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, so having a look at this, this is roughly where the speaker controller wants to go. I've cut the heat shrink off to get some extra air to it. And if I was to put the flight controller there, it'd be about perfect. These cables are the right length. Speaker controller wire I'll cut down and I can solder in. I just think it's trying to tell me something. If we just work off of that, it's good. We've got the room now. I don't see us needing a bigger speaker controller. If we do, there's a chance. Okay, maybe not. I say there's a chance we can mount it that way. Maybe not. But you know, I have to cross that bridge when we get to it. I don't see why this 70 amp speaker controller shouldn't be a problem. They're always quite good. Yeah, so another thing is, that is there. That's basically where it'd be. You'll put up over that thing. If I put this on top, there's this and this right here that we can maybe technically no, that way up. So I can lift this up, have air go in and have air go out there. I presume that's what those are for. In fact, sorry for having to look at the desk. Whether I'm going to 3D print something to go in these holes, but it does sort of give you the rough idea what it would look like. Vent in there, vent out the back, and it's got these holes there that are mostly blocked by wires, but still. So yeah, I really like that. I've made the decision that I'm going to put a ring around there. That is where I'm going to put the flight controller, which is just going to make my life a hell of a lot easier. I'm just going to solder on some wires for now for the battery side. Actually, I'll do XT60s because that's what I'm going to put all models on from now as I build them XT60s, get everything slowly converted over. So a cable sort of from there to there, what, 3 inches long. Get the speaker controller soldered in, and also get these ends swapped over to these 3.5mm bullets. And that'll actually be the first piece of the puzzle soldered in, so bear with me a moment. Okay, so I've got the little soldering iron on for now. I've prepped the speaker controller, taking these ends off, taking these ends off. 3.5mm going on here. These are being soldered directly to the board. I've got my cables, which I'm just going to solder on for now, and we'll see about length and stuff later, but then it's done. And I've also got these to do. Obviously these and these I'm going to use the big solder iron for. That's not on, but this one is on, ready to do all the small stuff. I've also got to do the pins for the servos, which are on the back of this. So let's get her done. Okay, so that's the ground and the signal wire soldered up. I've also done these pins, and I've also done, it's hard to see, but that sort of random blob of solder there. Crikey, I hope I haven't melted that component too badly. Yeah, so I'm worried about the bottom, but this one that's around it, so it says 6V. That's why I get 6 volts instead of 5 volts for the servo. Fingers crossed everything will be alright. So what we need to do now is fire up the, I'll have to turn it off actually, the old one. Fire up the bigger soldering iron, and that will then allow me to change these, and then solder these on as well as battery. Fortunately I have to swivel the wires, but we should be fine. Okay, so everything is kind of wired up how it's going to be. I've added a couple more things onto the list that'll do eventually. These wires are either like 1 inch too long or half an inch too long or 1 inch too short. They can't sort of coil them up nicely, and they're too long. So I think what I'm eventually going to do before this model flies is cut these wires on the motor down a little bit, so that this fits like that. It's just a straight line. I'm also going to cut these and have 3.5mm and then go to XT60 so they can fit under the bar. Not going to do the servo connections because, to be honest with you, for now they're just servo connections, so they're just going to be servo extension leads that run into either box. HD camera and regular camera. Now you really want your regular camera to be camera on. That's on the right hand side of the aircraft, looking from the back, and what wire happens to be there. Well, for the HD camera, so everything seems back to front. That's the reason these wires are sort of looped over as well. So I've decided I'm going to leave it for tonight, I think. I'm going to Velcro this down so it's in. We can just carry on adding stuff. For the shopping list, I've got new battery and something else. A prop for it. Proper two, like a cockatoo, but for props. Yes, I'm glad that this fits well. I don't think that this stone's going to fit very well, but it does. I was contemplating running the wires out of here, but this has to come off each time. Jesus. So, yeah, I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm not sure how long this video will be, or if it'll be 2 videos or whatever. But thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, click the like button. Remember to subscribe if you're new and want to see some more of the shenanigans. If you have any comments, feedback, questions, anything like that, please feel free to ask them below. And yeah, until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.